Let's do this thing. We're going live. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, so they can hear us now, even though it hasn't started yet. It has started on our end, but...
Good evening, everyone. We're back again. The team that you love to love and hate to hate.
Yeah, or bitch and complain that we put out too much content. But you're here every time to watch it.
What? That's just your brother, though.
Oh, well, yeah, he does complain about that. He loves he loves watching the stuff, and he just gets backlogged because we put out so much stuff. He's just like, ugh.
But to be fair, all of our videos, except the lives, are shorter than they used to be.
I would say, yeah.
So there's very, very, very few, like over half hour, even over 25-minute videos. That's kind of rare now. So it's, I mean, you could watch, like, we intend that you can watch like our daily Discover videos. They're all about 15 to 20 minutes each. You can watch, binge watch them very easily. So that's just, to help you guys.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we are going to be talking about some of our favorite Trek episodes. Want you guys to chime in for sure. As always, super chats are very welcome because you get noticed. We get to talk to you guys.
Yes.
And they do help out the
we're
channel.
We're forced to talk about your topic. So if you have a specific episode, then we will talk about the episode, even if they're good, bad, ugly.
Even if it's Threshold or Spock's Brain. I mean, Threshold. Honestly, yeah, we did a full one because thanks to Anti-Trekker because he donated for that. But I enjoy the first half of Threshold. I think it's great. The second half really trips down a flight of stairs into the basement, and then just dies. So,
yeah, that's a fair assessment, I think.
Yeah,
but most episodes are something to good to look into. Like I hate just looking at any piece. And just complaining about the whole episode. Yeah, every episode should be devolved into different pieces because you can just enjoy this character or this scene or this moment or this part or this storyline.
Yeah, and even some of the worst TOS episodes have some really great moments, like battle moments in them, which you don't think of when you think of the episode, but there's a lot of cool bridge action or whatever. So everyone has its own flair, which is why eventually I want for us to review all the episodes one by one on their own merit and do the good and the bad on each. It'll be annoying because there's a ton of them. I looked it up, and I think it would take 23 and a half straight days of watching Trek to be able to watch it all. There's so much Trek out there. Yeah. So, yeah. But that's a lot of content.
But when would people stop and watch Trekyards? Because they have to watch the daily Trekyards. So surely there's 23 constant days. I have to pause every day for those Trekyards moments. Surely.
I don't know if they want to pause for Trekyards. Star Trek's still better than Trekyards.
Although after 23 days, I have a lot of videos to catch up on. Come back and watch 60 videos like that. Yeah. Right, I'm just going to post this. So
yes,
talk to our wonderful people. 90 people already. Brilliant.
Yes. Joseph Petrick, as always, is awesome. Throws in €2. Sub Rosa, go. For €2, I want only 2 sentences. Sub Rosa, which one is that? Is that the Dr. Crusher with sex with the ghost thing? I don't know which one Sub Rosa is. I'll need to look that up. Hold on a second.
And yes, you can super chat, make us talk about an episode. And yes, to be fair, I think you could also include fan films on that if you really want us to talk about something. So it's kind of like an open review sort of show. And we talk about. I mean, we've also got our own personal favorites, but you guys can control our conversation a little bit. That's okay.
So Sub Rosa is the sex with the ghost one, Beverly Crusher. Sum it up in 2 sentences, he said. All right, so Beverly Crusher's hot, and she has sex with a ghost. The end.
There. Have no memories except of trailer.
Yeah, it's not memorable.
I think I watched it when I was like 10 as part of just a watch. I've never gone back because there's some shows you would sort of avoid. I mean, when would you ever go back and watch Threshold specifically to do so? Again, I like watching new content, and I also like making content, so I rarely go back and do a rewatch or anything because honestly, if I remember it, then I just don't get the same enjoyment out of it. That said, I'm doing a rewatch because I got the Blu-rays for Continuum, a Canada-based show for Christmas. I got 2 seasons,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember loving it at the time. It was one was like, oh wow, this is a thing that exists. Wow, Pirate's pretty damn good. But obviously, I watched it year, then pause and year, and so the story I remember getting a bit more flaccid is a word I could use, but like it lost momentum, and now I've watched 2 seasons in 2 weeks. Yeah. And the momentum actually is really great, and we've got the third season today in Blu-ray. I've got to get the fourth season, so never seen the fourth season. That's why I'm bringing it up as well. So I'll be able to like experience it in its truest 4-act narrative.
Yeah.
But it was 8 years since I've seen it, so my memory of it is actually more spotty than I thought. Like I remember all the plot points, but not how we get there. So I need to find like time for Star Trek and be like,
yes,
I should do a full T. Well, that'll be Trekyards, won't it? We'll do like a full TOS rewatch, and that'll be my chance to watch TOS after like a decade of never actually going back. Like I know that episode. Sorry, one long sentence. But that episode where the murderer that is the actor. Like I remember like 2 scenes of that, and they're really good, but I don't know anything else about it. My memory of TOS is a bit more holy.
Yeah. I was going to say for rewatching, usually, well, cause since it's
I'll let you talk for a while now. I'm just going to stop.
Yes. Since it's on Space, and they play TOS one day for all afternoon, and then they play, TNG, then Deep Space Nine, each on different days. Whatever's on is on, so I'm doing stuff around the house and listening to the episodes. That's when I see the rewatches of the ones that I don't really enjoy. I can kind of tune in, tune out as I need to pay attention to my phone, whatever. So that's always a good thing. Or when I'm doing model building or stuff, sometimes I'll throw it on the computer on Netflix and just go through them in order. Plus, Sylvia and myself like to do rewatches. We'll dedicate like, okay, we're going to rewatch Voyager. We're going to watch one episode every night before bed, kind of thing. It's just good to brush up on stuff like that. Plus, you always get new insights, and especially when you're with somebody that you can talk to about it and that's interested in it, so you can really bounce off each other, literally with me and Sylvia, but and have a good time talking about it. So, but yeah, a lot of them I wouldn't go back to rewatch necessarily. But Vince, we got a lot of super chats we got to address. So Vincent Visions puts in $2. TNG's Booby Trap episode, and he wants animation number 2. Booby Trap's a fantastic episode. That is one of my favorites. I gotta admit. That's one I really enjoy watching. Just for many aspects, the deserted old ship that could be haunted, or the ancient history, and then Leah Brahms and seeing the construction of the Enterprise. There's so much cool stuff in that episode. So yeah, that's definitely a good one. And here is your animation, sir.
I remember it created a great mood. Yeah, it was a great like science development, real simple but really interesting at the same time. And yeah, it was good to see Geordie just like force an episode where just trying to fix the ship, because the ship is a character. So actually, that's a fun thing to see. We got the prequel episode of the Enterprise, in essence, of the history of the ship. That's like a flashback scene for any other character. So yeah, I buy that completely. It's good. I really enjoy it. Again, I haven't seen these in a while, but it's kind of nice to be able to then rewatch them with Trekyards, especially with YouTube. If we do them like live, it's like we actually get to truly re-enjoy them again. I would.
Well, that's one of the things I wanted to ask you guys out there. Would you guys be willing to do live commentary on a Trek movie or an episode? Like, you queue it up on your end, you watch your version, we watch it on our end, obviously without audio, so we don't get copyright claimed. And as it's playing, we just talk about it. Would that be something you guys would be interested in? Because if so, we could consider doing that after Discovery's done, as some of our live, like a one live a week or something. Might be a possibility. It might be fun. Something out of the ordinary for us as well.
Yeah, as you guys know, we're currently 60% funding our YouTube channel with the lives. So any sort of live that people would love to see and want to support. I mean, you can't just not appreciate how valuable that is to keep the channel going. So if we can do content you want to see, perfect.
Everybody's saying yes to live commentary. So there you go.
Nice.
That being said, guys, go check out Captain Foley personal channel. I'm re-uploading my movie reviews and stuff, and just uploaded 2 with Sylvia, the 2009 Star Trek and Into Darkness, and they're hilarious to rewatch, so go and watch those. Fat Produce puts in $2, says Code of Honor is truly the finest Trek. I'm going to have to definitely vomit all over that and say absolutely not. I hate that episode with a passion, but your little laughy faces there indicate that you are kidding, so there you go. Hauntus Farmer puts in $2. Inter Arma, and in my opinion, the Burnham is necessary. The Burnham. What's Inter Arma? Is that an episode?
That's a Discovery episode.
Oh.
But Pat Perudo's Code of Honor. I mean, Code of Honor is a weird one. It's one of those ones you wonder why they think that was a good idea. I'm about to say I like the art design, but I like that when you go down to the planet, they actually built lots of sets and you get a vibe of the place. That vibe in itself is a bad vibe, but they at least put effort into it, you know. And the Spike death thing, whatever. It's interesting. It's not good, but it's not like it's not. Well, I think that's a bit more artistically interesting than the Alan Moraine episode, where it's just like,
oh good God, don't even
just
hoping nobody would
thrown on
mention
the screen. Yeah, that one just bugs me. I mean, Code of Honor does too, but at least I guess because Riker's in it, isn't he? He's in it a bit. Or is it just Tasha?
It's mainly just Tasha and yeah. I mean, they're all in it a little bit, but yeah, it's a very Tasha heavy episode, which turns me off right away because I hated Tasha with a passion.
I don't know what they think. Where do they think they're going to go with her character? Seriously, I mean, she's very flat, and I've gone so Sulu and stuff, but it doesn't.
I've gone 5 minutes without mentioning that I was on a planet with rape gangs. Rape gangs, anyone? No.
Yeah. That yeah. I mean, I liked the sister episode. I thought that was a really well done episode with Tasha's sister and Data and
nice
and
bodysuit. Yeah, I totally agree.
And yeah.
Yeah, there were some good ones for sure. And
I'm a little bit tired, guys. Huh?
The character, had she continued on, could have been interesting because everybody's character kind of stepped up a few notches after that. So it'd be interesting.
I mean, the same thing with Riker. Riker's just an average guy, and you know the ability. The only way you could go with Tasha is dealing with her darkness, but then I don't know. But then I guess in DS9 they all had some sort of darkness. I don't know. I feel like just could have. I mean, just having that same character, but having her maybe on Andor or like a famous planet, you can learn about the backstory of that famous planet, or Alpha Centauri. So now you learn about, you know, she was bullied at the Zephyr and Cochrane Academy. You know, and then you learn about that planet, and then about the you know the first colony of mankind. Like that, you can make that more historical rather than just.
You could, but
who gives a shit?
They didn't, so yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Joseph Patrick puts in €2. I actually like bottle shows like The Drumhead. The Drumhead is a fantastic episode. Definitely one of the best of TNG and of Star Trek as a whole.
Yeah, actually. That's a surprisingly good one.
Yes.
Well, the thing about bottle head shows, Wrath of Khan is a bottle show. It is. Mm-hmm. And 6 is still primarily a bottle show, just in slightly more bottles. I mean, most of the sets are
a case of bottles.
Yeah. Most of the sets are redress.
Yeah.
You know, whereas like Insurrection, it's like most of it, you know, half it takes place on location, the other half on sets, and half of those sets are new. So there's, you know, that's less of a bottle show. And on First Contact, it's all new, but it's also a bottle show. So, I mean, some of the best of Trek is bottle shows because you focus down. If you don't have the ooh, you have the characters, and fundamentally you're there for the characters. You know, and like we said, the space chase in the last episode of Discovery, you could have removed that completely and have 2 minutes or 5 minutes of more character stuff, which would be 1,000 times cheaper and more interesting.
Yeah.
So bottle shows, I think, are totally underappreciated. Honestly, even if there is no VFX extra in it.
Usually those are the best, though, to be honest, in my opinion.
But that said, the reverse of that is the bottle show from the Orville, the first episode of season 2, where everything was a B story. There was no overriding cool thing. You can't just have a bottle show where it's just an average day, nothing's happening, because then you also feel claustrophobia. We had Lower Decks. That was as close as you could get to that, but it had a very specific narrative flow and unique take. So that was not. Yeah,
Lower Decks is another one of my absolute favorites as well. Seeing the life of the Lower Decks people.
There you go, Joseph.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
And then Bird of Prey 5, nice to see you. Puts in $2. TNG Parallels is some of the best of TNG, and I would agree. Parallels is a fantastic episode again. The multiple realities, the different takes on things. I love seeing that. And since it's Bird of Prey and he's awesome, we're going to play an animation for him, Bird of Prey animation, because I feel like it's apropos. There you go.
I couldn't not throw a Bird of Prey in. And this is, I mean, Parallels has always been a special episode for me. I mean, do you want to give me a longer review? Then I can give you a longer review, because this one's kind of special to me.
I don't want to give a long review, but I've said all I want to say about it. It's awesome. Okay. So you can do your thing. But just remember, we have more super chats, so make it too long.
But this one is one of the very few episodes I can just rewatch.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I can just... And I remember when we only had VHSs, I remember exactly where it is in the bookshelf, which we've still got, and it's still there, I can go get it now. And I would watch this, I think, 3 or 4 times more than any other episode, just because it's so gentle, yet interesting, yet sci-fi, yet character, yet intrigue. It's a really good episode with some cool visual effects. And I remember I heard a documentary, some interview where they said actually we threw in lots of little other Easter eggs that are hard to spot, like Riker becomes left hand or something like that. There's even more little things we did just for the sake of it. And that they said they got complaints after it came out about stuff being wrong, and they were like, no, that was a deliberate continuity fun thing to hint they're in the universe, even to the point of being really subtle. And I was like, damn, so this one's a very, very bottle show, but it's really clever and, alternate universe. And I honestly, I use the Riker, the Borg, they destroy the Federation. That's one of the major inspirations for Convergence. Yeah. That desperation, that level of, well, actually, what is it if everything has truly fallen? That moment is a big inspiration. So I like it.
Yeah. Duet. Fat Produce puts in $2. Duet is one of the very best episodes of Trek. Duet. I gotta look that up. I'm not good with a lot of the titles, but I know
it's DS9 season 1. Oh wow. Where we reveal that it's Garak's dad, I believe. Or is that
God?
No, that's her.
Yeah, it's a heavily Bajoran.
Kira.
Yeah, I tune out. I hate her. I hate the
I'm gonna have to read this. I'm gonna have to read this. Come on, Kalanora, brutal dictator.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember much about it, honestly.
Yeah.
But season 1 of.
It always gets mentioned when we talk about the best of Trek. I always hear Duet thrown in there. I'm not a huge Bajoran fan nor Kira fan, so those episodes are kind of like, yeah. Look at my phone. Look at that. Oh, there's.
I hope you'd agree. There's an exception though when she becomes Cardassian and she's faked that she's the daughter of the dude. That episode I think is really interesting.
I just watched that one like a few days ago, and
good.
Yeah,
because that was really memorable for me. That one.
It still confuses me every time as to what the hell is going on until the end, but yeah.
That's probably the point, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I suppose.
But that one I like, because her journey as a character in that is really good.
Yeah.
From what I remember, you just saw it, but I think that's a really a good Kira episode.
Oh, good acting for sure, and yeah, definitely some interesting stuff.
And it's great they paid off again, because that's really cool.
Yeah. Stephen Fathery puts in $2.
Thanks, man.
Inter Irma is DS9 on Romulus, season 7, section 31. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. That is a good episode. Again, a lot of political intrigue and getting the section 31 involved in there. Yeah. Okay. I totally agree with you then.
I kind of love that episode because it doesn't take place on DS9. It's like it's a DS9 episode without DS9. It's like what DS9 could have been if they did other things. It's Bashir. For that point, I think Wade does a good performance. Goes off to Romulus. We see Romulus. We don't see it that way pretty much ever again. Even in Nemesis, it's very limited. I love that episode. We get to see the Belerathon in orbit of Romulus with these Aderodectors. That's a really cool bit of CGI, and I love the fact that we've got to see another variant, the Admiral. And we get to see, I love the fact that we get to see. That's how you redress or don't redress sets wonderfully. You remove Neelix's crap and use it as it was meant to be used. The mess hall. It's just it's the captain's special room that's used for diplomatic things. I love that's a clever use of reuse sets and actually whatever. And then those sets still hold up so well. They look so much more advanced. I always love seeing Federation stuff back in DS9 because it's so infrequently Federation tech focused.
Yeah,
I think I know we talked about this. Feels like years ago, but we both expected them to slowly evolve the DS9 interior into like more of a Federation as they refitted, retrofitted, changed the L cars, like you know, make it custom rather than leave it at the, you know.
Yeah, no, I totally agree that they should have done that. It would have made proper sense to see it change over the 7 years into more of a Federation aesthetic, but it stayed the Cardassian aesthetic.
Do you remember that time there was a Golden Carts protocol that almost killed them all?
Yep.
Yeah. If you'd erased their computer core, put your own one in, wouldn't happen. You'd be fine.
But you'd have to shut down the station and evacuate it while you took the computer core down, because it'd probably affect all primary systems.
Yeah, but do it before the Dominion War, when it's less crucial. When it was just a... Remember, Benjamin Sisko was sent there as like a... come on, you go there.
Yeah.
So do it then, when no one gives it down.
Well, it was important that it be up and running then for the relationship with Bajor and the Federation.
I don't care.
I don't either, but I see your point. But I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Adam Cleverly puts in £5.
Cool. British.
I really... we won't hold that against him. It's fine. I
Excuse me.
really like TNG's Symbiosis.
No.
I have very odd favorites. I think it's down to the actor who played Kirk's son in it and watching it as a kid. Yeah, well, that was a good one because not only was Kirk's son in it, but also Joaquin, whatever the hell his name is, Khan's helmsman.
Yeah.
I shall avenge you. That guy.
Yeah.
He was in it as well. So like 2 Star Trek 2 actors in this TNG episode. Yeah, and
they both did great.
It's one of those episodes for me. I like watching it because of the actors, but I'm not a huge fan of the storyline. I think it's kind of...
Oh, see, I kind of think it's one of the better ones of season 1. I think the sci-fi element...
season 1, yes, but not overall of TNG.
Okay. Yeah, but everything's in context. I mean, that one I think shows what it could have been, season 1. I think it's an interesting story. It's simplistic, but it's neat. It's actually a moral story, but it's very much a Gene Roddenberry story, I think. I think I quite like that one. Guilty pleasure, I think.
Yeah.
Although Carl Legacy Studios says, remember, it's a Bajoran station, though, is DS9. Well, kind of, the Cardassians built it, and the Bajorans sort of gave it to the Federation to use. I mean...
Well, it's not just that, even. It's not really the Bajoran aesthetic at all. I mean, they should be changing it to more of a Bajoran look than keeping it Cardassian, because the Cardassians, they got that as bad...
Yeah, culture.
Got the bad vibes, so why not change it to upgrade it? I mean,
if the Federation are offering a more advanced operating system, why wouldn't you take them up on that rather than allowing the oppressors to be, it's like if you went to a Nazi camp and there was Nazi writing everywhere, and if you just paint over it,
exactly. It's like Stamets from the last episode of Discovery. Looking around, everything reminds him of Hugh. Well, looking around as a Bajoran, everything would remind me of the occupation.
Of torture and death.
Yeah. So, Matthew DeFreitas puts in $2.
Thank you.
Favorite all-time episode is Way of the Warrior. Ooh, excellent. That's one I tell a lot of people that they should start with when they start watching Deep Space Nine. Start with that and move forward. Watch the rest of the series, then go back and watch the shit before it, because it is, yeah.
Now, I want to call you out on that.
Yes, dear.
Because I was called out on that. Again, so many comments, so it's hard to say, whatever. But someone called me out for saying, how could you say that? Why would you abandon all those pre-seasons and that's so disrespectful to DS9? I was like, but Stuart always says it, not me. I just happened to say it this week.
Yeah, well, why? Because I hated Deep Space Nine for the longest time. I would always see the same episodes. They're always the first couple seasons. I would tune in, get really discouraged with it, and just tune out and not watch it. Till Sylvia made me watch it with her, the whole thing. Now it's my favorite series. So that being said, there's a lot of character development and stuff in the first 3 seasons. However, or the first 2 seasons specifically. However, it's rough to get through if you're not a fan of Star Trek. And if you are a fan of Star Trek, it's still rough to get through. Some of the episodes are just atrocious. So I always say, give it a go when it gets good. When the Defiant shows up, when Sisko shaves his head, when it starts getting good, and then go back and watch the character development stuff, because that's kind of where I was with it. I would watch the worst episodes when I caught them on TV, I never wanted to watch it because it just never appealed to me. It never looked good. But
Yeah,
now it's my favorite, so that's where I stand on it.
Yeah, Voyager is more vanilla at the start, but it's still clearly Trek. DS9 has some real rough, in many areas rough, and it amazes me. Look at the DS9 pilot, and I think it's rough all round. But I don't like the visual effects. It reminds me of Babylon 5 launched at the same time. Okay, again, season 1 less impactful, but the amount of visual effect, cool angles and cool swooping, all these really ambitious stuff, and then DS9, the battle of the Cassian stations is just 3 claws going bzz, bzz, and the station's going bzz, bzz. It's like, wow, this is what you chose to open your... Okay, I suppose the battle at the start was awesome, they put a few more shots in, but like that one battle is like, this is just garbage. I mean, you could do better, and they obviously ran out of time, that was probably the only reason, but some things like that, just like, it's just some real like low points.
And it is worth saying, there are a lot of good episodes in the first couple seasons of Deep Space Nine, don't get me wrong. However, I don't think that somebody, if you're trying to introduce them to the series and they're familiar with other series or not, cook them on the good episodes so they'll want to go back. Don't make them sit through 3 really bad ones, 1 awful one, then 1 really good one, 1 okay one, then go back to the bad. It's just, it'll throw people off and they won't want to come back.
Well, it's also because that show clearly had that gentle second life restart at season 3 when the Dominion started being a thing, being implied, and like that was it sort of, right, we're going to the main story arc. The other two, they're finding their footing, so you can start that, especially if you're a fan of TNG. That Inn of Worf, he's so great in that. I mean, and then Marta Hongaran. It's such a Trek-heavy show. It brings in those great elements again. But I mean, because you can't just start in season 2, you can't start middle of season 1. It's like you either start at the start or you start from a distinct point. That's one of those tricky things with TV. It's like normally you just start from the start. I mean, what would you say with Voyager? Because I think Voyager's still a start from season 1 and deal with the mediocre, but like just burn through it. Just learn the characters. I
find Voyager's pretty much good across the board as far as good and bad. So there is no slugging through the first couple seasons to get the character development, and it kind of has that hit and miss aspect right from the get-go. I find Deep Space Nine was very much a drag you down kind of, for the first couple episodes, and then it just has a different pace than Voyager. Voyager, yes, start at the beginning. That's fine. You're going to
because they're always going out doing something new, whereas someone coming to us. I mean, the momentum, there isn't the same momentum in DS9. We're really not complaining, and I'm sure we'll do a rewatch. It'd be fun just to do I mean, again, talk about Discovery for a second. People complain that we complain, but no, we look at the good and the bad. We call it good, call it bad. So it'd be fun to go through the different pilots, and they've all got bad points, and we've both said that Discovery one's probably one of the better ones. Probably that and TOS are the best too, but that's because they're bad picking. It's like I wouldn't have picked the Farpoint as the first episode.
Oh,
jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, the concept is great. The end is great. The alien bit is great.
Yeah.
Especially with the remaster, the beautiful, really good effects. But the whole, it's such a bad introduction to the characters. It's such a
not so much, because I remember watching that when it was brand new, because we were so pumped to see it.
Oh, really?
New Trek on TV, and you saw all the new, the new aesthetic. It was just like, you were just kind of sucked in. And it kind of grabbed you because you were a fan of TOS and you wanted to see what was next. But yeah, I can see, having watched other things and seeing TNG for the first time now. Not so much.
Well, that's the interesting thing. In those days, it was far more, you make a show for the time it's made, and then you hope it might get syndication to be shown again. But you're not expecting it to be watched years and years. No one thought this was coming with online streaming. So it was just, okay, the episode's done. We got the ratings, yay! People tuned in. They started watching, got Nielsen ratings, yay! That was the success factor. Whereas later on, obviously, and even Enterprise didn't have the internet to properly go after it. Now with Discovery, they've got to create these more intricate things. Otherwise, it doesn't. Whatever.
Yeah. Ian Warrender puts in £5. Thank you very much, Ian. He's one of our moderators and doing a fantastic job. He's also an admin on the Trekyards page. So
what doesn't he do?
I don't know, but he's been doing a really good job over on the admin page. I want to call him out for that. Good job on a few. I've even messaged him privately because he's been doing some really good stuff. So
We have a great team.
Yeah.
It's great when I have to think about the team because I just, I obviously make all the content, most of it, the catalog and stuff. It's great just being the team covers it. It's fine.
Although Joe always wants to know your opinion because he values your opinion more than mine. Because he talks to me all the time. He's like, "What did Sam say? What would Sam say?"
Oh, he loves you more. I mean, it's
well,
clear.
It's clear. He wants to, But that's a long story. I'll tell you about that in private. Anyway, Ian said, TOS, the empath, focus on characters. Kirk, Spock, McCoy shows Star Trek could have worked on stage. The empath, absolutely, because it's very much a bland episode as far as visuals go. The black background. It's with Jem. It's not one of my favorite episodes. I actually am not a fan of the episode, to be honest. I know it's really well written and there's a strong message, but I am not a fan of that episode personally, and I will not really sit through it if I don't have to. But yeah, my those views are expressed by me, not necessarily represent those views of the Trekyards channel or Team Trekyards as a whole.
No, it's funny. TOS is the one I've seen the least. I saw it first. I've seen it at least after that. It's just happened to have. I like watching new things. But this one I do remember being quite fond of. Yeah, the writing. I mean, can you get even more bottle if you build a single set with muslin drapes around it? But minimalist can be really smart. I mean, remember that scene in TNG on the holodeck where they're creating that table of doom, and just the sound design and the thing appears, and all these people trying to remember they took them into alternate dimension. They were creating the table they were strapped to in the device, and
yeah.
Like it's one scene in one room, but it's such a good. I mean, it's a very clever scene, but it's just like that is a tremendous scene, and all it is a bit of set decoration on a standing set that just gets slowly updated as the scene goes on. It's great. So this, simple can work super well. Yeah, I like that one.
And Jamal says the empath is solid, and I'd argue that it shows the relationship between Kirk, Spock, and McCoy better than City on the Edge of Forever. I don't think City on the Edge of Forever shows the relationship between Spock, Kirk, and McCoy very well at all. It's definitely a Kirk piece. Spock is there. Spock
it's a Kirk hero piece.
Yes, and a love piece. Spock is pretty major player in it, but I don't find McCoy is at all. So I'd have to disagree with you there, Jamal.
It's a good. You get the sense of Bones and Kirk at the end. Like those few moments, you get a sense of how they are. And Spock is the best friend in that episode. But yeah, it's a good friend episode, but it's not doesn't define their relationships. And although it does show them doing good things.
Yeah.
Like it shows Spock and Kirk at their best, but as their own people, not necessarily combined. That makes sense.
Yeah, and as I've said with City on the Edge of Forever, it is a good piece of sci-fi. It's not necessarily representative of Trek. It could be set in any sci-fi franchise and be an amazing piece of writing and storytelling.
Could be Babylon 5, could be Stargate, could be Farscape, could be anything else.
Yeah.
And obviously, as we know, it's 85% different to the original concept written.
Oh yeah, because I've got the original graphic novel. The graphic novel based off the original script, and it's totally different. It's So, but yeah. Anyway, going back to our favorites, I just want to call it a few real quick of mine.
But thank you for the super chats there to help us take over the conversation for the first half an hour, because that is the power you have. But yes, Stuart.
I'm just going to throw a few out there. I'll probably miss a few, but I just want to throw a few out. Obviously, Where No Man Has Gone Before, Corbomite Maneuver, Balance of Terror, Doomsday Machine, The Enterprise Incident, Yesterday's Enterprise, Drumhead, Measure of a Man. Damn it, I had a few more on my... anyway, there's a lot, is all I'm saying. And a lot of the ones that I pick, like Yesterday's Enterprise, The Enterprise Incident, they're very ship-based. There's a lot of ship shots, but that's because ever since I was a kid, the ships have always been what I really enjoy seeing. So a lot of the character pieces, like City on the Edge of Forever, are good, but they don't really speak to me personally. The one exception there is Pale Moonlight, which is my favorite episode of all time, just because it's amazingly done.
Well, what makes Trek unique? It's a lot of it is the time it's set. That's why you don't like Enterprise as much as well, because some of the tech doesn't quite work with these things. That's all tied in. And so when you throw an episode on a ship involving a new ship involving the tech and people dealing with the tech, like that's a Star Trek episode. You couldn't whole cloth replace it with something else. Even if you could replace the ships with new ships that the universe, it'd still be a Trek-based piece. So yeah, it reinforces the look, we're in Trek, because a Trek ship fighting a Trek ship like submarines while dealing with Trek characters and Trek aliens and a new Trek weapon, like it's all Whereas a love story in the holodeck is like it's a love story in a Trek episode.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of the TOS episodes. I see the episode title and I remember the main plot, and I'm like, I don't want to watch it. But then when I watch it, like Land of Troyes, there's some great Klingon battles in that, especially with the remastered. You get to see some fantastic visuals of Klingon ships, and you hear the tactics on the bridge of it's just staying out of range and all this. But when you first hear the episode, you just think of the whiny little brat bitch that needs to be spanked, and you just don't. I don't care for her. I don't like it. I don't like that plot.
Is that the one where Kirk gets kidnapped in a replica of the Enterprise and there's all the people in the windows?
No. This is the one where that stupid woman comes on board and has to be. I even did it, and you don't talk to me like that. Well, it just rubs me the wrong way in so many ways. But the B plot of the Klingons, you never really think of that when you think of the episode title. But when you watch it, you're like, wow, you're actually getting a lot of Trekyards information here. How they handle tactics, how they, and the remastered has some great visuals. So those pieces, I enjoy watching just for the fact that I'm like, I'm going to be disappointed, and then I'm absolutely not, because there's some cool stuff in there which kind of gets lost with the main story, Jill Wright throws in $5. Favorite line on all of Trek: "Pardon me, but why is Lieutenant Barclay being referred to clandestinely as a vegetable?" Lieutenant Broccoli. Data's awesome. Jamal Taylor puts in $5. Balance of Terror is my personal favorite.
Thank you.
Yep, that's definitely one of the best TOS episodes, bar none.
It's one of those examples of a really well-written piece elevates anything, and it's true simplicity. It's one of the reasons Wrath of Khan works so well. Hyper simple, hyper focused, strong baddie, and tactics. There's thought put in. And then you go to like the JJ films and the lack of thought put in, and then you sort of don't connect with things. Aft nacelle. Whereas in Balance of Terror, it's all about the strategic, all about the cleverness. It's Trek fans, I think, really appreciate that sort of stuff, and especially at the original TOS time. I mean, this was like, as other people have said, this is what great sci-fi authors are writing this. This is for connoisseurs of sci-fi in book form. That's the only hard sci-fi you got that was this intellectual and forward-thinking. So yes, these stories had to be that sort of high caliber.
I think Samuel is gone again. Yep, reconnecting. There's a poor network connection. So I'm going to talk. AC Castillo puts in $2. Where silence has lease, Picard uses auto-destruct. Yes, with Nagilum. Very good episode. Region of void of energy and matter. Yeah, that's one of my favorite TNG episodes also. One that definitely when it comes on, I will sit down and rewatch the entire thing. So... the Enterprise incident is one with the cloaking theft and the multiple Romulan ships, some of them Klingon in design because of the treaty. I'm still here. You can still hear me. Let me just call the commander back. Section 31 has come. That's because he talks too much. And they feel like they need to cut him off. Oh, look, he's calling me back. There you go. Hello? Samuel? I can't hear you, Samuel. I don't know if he's back. Oh, he's not. Let me try calling him back. Devil in the Dark, I would definitely have to agree with you, is one of the best TOS episodes for sure. You had a bad connection and it said reconnecting and then didn't reconnect and
hiya.
Yeah.
No, my internet just said it died because of weak connection. You know, it's nice. We use Skype all the damn time, but it rarely happens. It's kind of amazing, actually.
Well, it's a good thing I was hosting today. We always take
this is
turns.
why I had a feeling.
Yeah, you did. I'm like, should I host today? He's like, sure. Maybe my internet won't die on me again today. So there you go. Yeah, I've already addressed the last super chat with AC Costello there, where Silence has lease, where Picard uses auto destruct. That's one with Nagilum.
Yeah. That one's quite smart.
Yeah, that's a good episode. And
with the Galaxy? No, the Yamato.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, the sister ship.
It's just so... they should have done that conceit more of showing a second galaxy. Yeah. It's surprisingly such a cool visual, and just to see these people walk around just chillax, environment. It's
And they were also talking about Devil in the Dark. Again, a very good TOS episode. Yeah. And interestingly, that's the one where during the filming of that, William Shatner's father passed away. So some of the scenes were after the fact. He had taken some time off. Not much time, though. He was very much a professional. But it's always interesting to watch that back and think to yourself, what's going through his head. He's even said himself that's one of his favorite episodes. Probably because he remembers filming it the most because of what happened in his personal life. Yeah. Because I don't think he remembers a lot of the other stuff necessarily, because it kind of blurs together. But Devil in the Dark is actually pretty awesome. It is one of the best TOS episodes, definitely, in my opinion. TOS City on the Edge of Forever, it's all right.
I mean, that's the thing. What do you look for in a cool episode? I mean, I mentioned I really enjoy Parallels, and that's a very sci-fi-y one. Mm-hmm. I mean, I really enjoy Relativity, because it's, again, a really cool, opens up the universe, adds more to it. Best of Both Worlds is both good sci-fi, good character, interesting stuff. I'm pulled to all this cool sci-fi stuff, because that's what I really enjoy sci-fi for, is the sci-fi stuff.
I like the mysteries aspect of a lot of the episodes too, like the one where Beverly is trapped in the warp bubble.
Yeah,
people are disappearing.
That's a fun one.
Stuff like that, where it's like, oh yeah, the ship only has 200 personnel. What?
Yeah. Beverly, it was always only been us commanding, you and me.
Yeah.
We've been the entire crew the whole time. It's like, what the fuck are you on about, John Luke?
We've christened every room in this ship.
We had nothing else to do all year.
Yeah.
I mean, do you guys know that that episode? I mean, do you guys? I felt like that episode is underrated. That one which is in the warp bubble.
Yeah.
I think that's a really, and for Beverly, that's a Gates McFadden shows that she can be like a lead, like a top tier lead.
Mm.
I like that one too.
Ian Warrender again puts in 2 pounds. Surprised no one has mentioned The Inner Light yet. Well, The Inner Light's a fantastic episode, but again, it's like City on the Edge of Forever. It can be taken out of Star Trek and totally work with any other sci-fi franchise or non-sci-fi franchise, for that matter. The fact that somebody can live an entire lifetime in the space of 20 minutes.
Life on Mars, the UK cop show, a guy falls off a roof, and now he's done in the 1970s, and it was all in his head. And he lived
the 1970s or the Mars?
No, I don't know why it's called Life on Mars. I never got that why. But yeah. No, I agree. It's one of those ones where yes, it's amazing, but not because it's Trek. It's elevated because it's Trek. But it's like Outer Limits, where every episode is a new episode. Like the
anthologies,
yeah, like that. It's one of those sorts of ones where it could just be thrown in, and they have like dozens of really good ones, because it's just like, throw us a good story. There's a good story.
It gets noticed because it's Trek and it's mainstream, and it gets noticed because of the characters. Yeah, the characters that it's happening to, Jean-Luc Picard, and then acted by such a fantastic actor. So yes, but that is perfect example. It could be an episode of The Twilight Zone or The Outer Limits. Great premise, great idea, great piece, but not necessarily noticed in those because everyone is kind of standalone thing. When you throw it in with a character that you followed for 5 years or whatever when it came out, it's like, wow, that's really impactful to that character and his life, and how it bleeds into other episodes with the flute.
And you double down to Star Trek's pretty damn good budget at the time, the good set design, the good costume design. Like, Star Trek and the team elevated that material, and that was why it wins so good. Elevated, same with On the Edge of Forever, elevated by who made it, not just the fact they did.
Yeah. Adam Cleaverly puts in £2 and says the Changeling is like a baby motion picture. Well, that's why the motion picture is called Star Trek: The Motion Picture, where Nomad had gone before, because it's the exact same script. Really, it is. If you watch the motion picture and you watch the Changeling, it's like, wow. The similarities are uncanny. And they could have made the motion picture into an hour-long episode, taking out all the visuals and the time wasting. But that being said, go check out my movie review on the Captain Foley Person channel of the motion picture. I also did the director's cut, which is a lot better. But
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, the Changeling was a fantastic idea at the time and was well done for an hour-long episode. But to make that exact same script into a 2.5 hour movie, or a 2 hour movie, I wish the motion picture was something else. I do enjoy watching the motion picture because, again, I don't necessarily remember when it first came out, but I remember the new look of that, even compared to like Wrath of Khan and stuff that I had seen around the same time. Because by the time I was watching all these, they were pretty much out, right? But seeing the different look and the different Enterprise and how much focus was on the Enterprise, again, ship related, because I've noticed that a lot of the choices I pick are ship related. And Chris Ashton puts in £2. Oh no, Joseph Petrick, puts in €2 first and says guilty pleasure for me is the Night Terrors, and he wants a random animation.
And which one is that?
I think that's the one you were talking about, where they were building the table with the alien abductions. I think.
Yeah. That's
another one of my favorites. Yeah.
It's a good episode. I think it is. I'm certain. Googled it, but it's not necessarily come with the same pictures I assume it would.
Oh, Night Terrors. No, this is the one where they're trapped in the rift, and they start talking to Troy, and she's talking about the two lights, and they have to combine the hydrogen with the whatever to release. Trapped in a space rift with the crew slowly going insane. Only Data and Troy are left to find a way to save the Enterprise. Remember where she's floating? She's floating in the orbs.
I remember that, but I can't say I remember the episode. Not specifically.
It's a good one.
I don't have any specific memories. That's
go back and rewatch it. It is a good one.
I guess so.
Again, it incorporates that mystery. Those mystery aspects are where things are off or don't seem right, or you see things from different person's perspective when they're telling a story. I love those episodes. Speaking
of, the next one is similar.
Oh, Chris Ashton puts in £2 and says,
"Thank you.
Gotta give a shout out to DS9, The Visitor." I gotta look that up now.
It's the Jake Sisko future one with Tony Todd. That, I think, is a very, very good one.
Yes.
And that, actually, to be fair, that's probably the inner light of DS9.
Yes. Yeah, I would say so. And then years later, Sisko just says, "Screw you, kid. I'm going to hang out with the Prophets."
Yeah, but let's not talk about that final few bits of that end episode, because let's not talk about that. Yeah, The Visitor's great. I think that's great. And I was shown a clip, and this is great because continuity and Discovery doesn't care. They specifically mentioned that in their alternate future, where they again love the continuity, they're wearing the normal post-Voyager uniforms. That's what almost every alternate future wears, is the same. We already have the costumes. Why, great continuity, brilliant. And they specifically mention, Bashir says, "Wow, this is the time we're using 2D controls. How quaint!" Telling us that the 3D stuff is new in his time, 150 years past Discovery. So another bit of canon that obviously it's a single line, a single episode, but of an alternate universe future doesn't happen. But even more so that it doesn't.
All right, so the next one is Zarkon D. Grissom, and says TNG. It's in $2, so thank you very much. TNG, the Ensigns of Command. Oh,
that one's... I like that one.
That's the one where Data... Wait a minute, which one is that? Oh, he tries to evacuate the colonists.
Shoots a water thing, and the great effect of destroying all the water in the entire place.
Yeah.
And the Shellyak.
Yes. The Shellyak. That where, Picard nitpicks the contract and pulls out a line and like, ha! Legalities.
And the art design. That's one of those small things where, like, they should... That Ray should have come back.
Yeah.
That was a good art design.
And speaking of Data, the one where he's the Iceman, where he loses his memory, he had to go down and get the radiation.
Also good. Yeah.
That's a fantastic episode. And these all... I find the best episodes of Trek use the classic tropes of storytelling, like somebody that's forgotten their identity and needs to, they're based on older mythologies usually, and I think they work really well in the modern context. So AC Castillo puts in $2. Thank you very much, sir. Relics, my favorite, LaForge and Scotty together. Relics is obviously up there because it ties things together, so yes.
Relics is a funny one because it's on that line of not quite achieving its potential, because you do get the referential cool stuff. You do get Scotty being out of water, but then also being awesome. So if they hadn't him be awesome at the end, it wouldn't have been as good. If you hadn't had the Dysons, like it's one that almost doesn't quite work, like fully. That should have been a two-parter.
I would tend to agree. Like it. Yeah, because you got
just getting James Doohan, because he was great. Like,
the Scotty storyline tied in with the Dyson Sphere. It was some great storytelling elements all crammed into one episode. It was a little
and then bit... what you should have done is, if it was two-parter, you have more, whatever, you have more of the episode. Because, I mean, Spock got 2 episodes, give him, and Spock wasn't even in, like, the first half. Scotty was the centre. Can you imagine at the end of the second part, Scotty, goes into a room, sits down, and you hear a Russian saying, Mr. Scott, you've been away so long, I never thought I'd see you again. And then suddenly, Uhura and, all of the TOS people still alive, which was all of them, except Kirk, who's been dead for ages. Although he wasn't dead at this point. That'd be a great continuity mistake. Bring Kirk in. It's like, oh shit, we killed him. Iterations. But, like, having all the other crew, like, that would have been the chance to have him see his old friends.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, come on. You give, Nichelle Nichols a grand, come in for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Put some old age makeup on or whatever, or like say have a spot. It would have been nice to see. It would have been again. They could have upped that into even more of an anniversary cool thing. That's why I kind of like Flashback. Flashback is another one in Voyager where it's really great, but then comes down to be weaker at certain points. It gets too bogged down in the Tuvok mystery, which is the entire point of plot. Everything on the Excelsior is like A-star. Like real gold standard, because Sulu is great and he's got a lot to do, and you see Janeway on that bridge. Like it's a nice little combination of eras. But then as soon as you get into the real life stuff, it kind of like drags down a bit. It could have been simpler and given more time. It would have been fun to see Janeway work with Sulu at one of the scenes and do like double captaining and and obviously the massive continuity mistake of the dude not being dead in the movie, even though he's dead in the
Valtane.
I just love the behind the scenes of Tuvok who I think directed or heard write something. He's like, the fans are really good at seeing this stuff, and we made sure this one, nothing is completely canon. There's an awkward video where then it just cuts to, like dead on the ground. There he is. But I love they got all the extras back.
Yeah.
Most of them weren't extras anymore, but they got them all back. That's brilliant. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Slyvoid puts in $2. Thank you very much. Keep up the good work. We intend to. Empyrean Frost Productions. Patrick, I see you there. TOS, Operation Annihilate, Discovery, Brother, TNG, Best of Both Worlds, DS9, Way of the Warrior, Voyager, Night, Enterprise, Silent Enemy, Stinks. I have to super chat to get seen. Oh well. Well, you didn't super chat and you got seen. So, just super chats make it easier, especially when there's a lot of people in the chat and you're having a great time commenting. So it's just easier for super chats.
We're here to support the channel and talk to you guys. It's a double way help thing. Yes.
Yeah. um, trying to think of some really good ones from Enterprise. The one.
Well, oh yeah, you go first.
I was going to say the one where they meet their descendants on the Enterprise.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Again, tying in either parallel universes or future or past events. I think those ones really stand out to be true sci-fi Star Trek, and I think those.
And you got to think it through.
Yeah,
like double think it through.
Yeah,
that was fun, and to see, and obviously you got the CGI was better at the time, so shooty. One of my favorite Enterprises. Obviously, you've got Intermira is the best ones of Enterprise, but that's because of the canon. But my favorite Enterprise episode itself.
I got to give Mecca Random a shout out.
Oh,
she's here.
Hi, Mecca.
She's lurking and unpacking, so she's listening to us, but not really contributing. But that's okay. Anyway, continue.
At least we're keeping you busy, and we're keeping you company. Yeah, I think my favorite, and I think, well, my best probably is the one with Degra and Archer in a shuttle, a fake shuttle.
Oh yes, I saw that one not too long ago as well.
It's a really good character piece, and I remember watching it live, and Degra goes from the genocidal villain Hitler to a full character.
It's a real person, yeah.
And that's rarely done in TV shows like that. Like, give him a full shout.
Yeah, and when he dies, it's so disheartening to me because he's down on the ground, and the last thing the guy says to him is, "We're going to kill your wife and your kids," and then you die. Could you imagine being in that instant where if you that's the last thing you hear before you die? Anyway, I feel bad for the guy.
And Degra was probably the best new part of that season. Like the character, he was a really well done character.
Yeah, and you didn't like him at first, and then you grew to love the guy.
That's called an arc, man. But that episode I think is great because also I love them dealing with they're faking a situation in a shuttle. And they had a nice new shuttle and the problems, and they go out the shuttle and he drugs them, and it's a really interesting conversation. And I love that they talk about this future that. Because we keep hearing, what would happen after, and well, we did win, and the Zindies came and killed their own race, and I love the future perspective stuff.
I remember the first time I watched it, they pan past the window where you see the star streaks, and I'm like, that looks like a monitor. What the hell? And then it's like, yep, it's a damn monitor. It's like, wow, all right.
With a nice little lightwave.
Maybe they did it on purpose to make it look like that, but.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Jill Wright put in similitude. Similitude is an excellent episode of Enterprise.
That's the trip with Trip Clone, isn't it?
The Trip Clone, yes.
That's a good episode.
Yep.
It's a solid episode, yeah.
And kind of heart-wrenching as well, which always helps with a good episode. So it stays memorable,
It's funny. I do think, while they didn't give the Enterprise crew as much love as they could have, the character episodes with each of them, they all shone. Like, genuinely shone. Like, even the Hoshi episode, when she's trapped in that castle, that actress is damn good in that.
Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah. But like they all do shine. Even when that's not as much of him episode, but when Reed is going against Archer and he's being the Section 31 agent, like he does shine.
You know who didn't shine in that show at all ever was Merriweather. What the hell is his name?
Mayweather, the pilot.
Merriweather. Yeah. Which is a shame. Like I don't give a shit about your family on the transport. I'm sorry. That was just I don't care.
Because that was basically his episode, wasn't it? That was like his.
That's his thing. He was a transport kid or whatever they called them.
No, I think he was, because Reed was interesting, not that interesting, but he was more interesting. Obviously, T'Pol, her Trellium D addiction, holy shit! She did that. That actress is weird as hell, her style of acting, but such a good job. They gave her gold in that season, and she used it very, very well. I think even to the point that Gene would probably be okay with that. Like, it's a weird one, but I think he would appreciate the interesting factor of that. Like, it's so specific. And that zombie episode on the Vulcan ship, that's a good episode.
That's an awesome episode. It's
good episode.
Every time I watch it, it's like, must be their Halloween special. It must be in October.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's really good. And it's much more scary than the Borg episode.
Yeah.
Which is meant to, the last 5 minutes is a similar vibe. Yeah. I think about alternate futures. I really do quite enjoy the one because it's alternate future, where we see Archer, who's now got a temporal bug in his brain, and he can't, go past a certain point. But yet years have passed and Earth's been destroyed, and so Goto's seeing the weapon ship like 6 episodes early and seeing what would happen, and T'Pol being very different and having feelings for him, sort of. That's an interesting dynamic that you can buy and see the fleet and destruction, and there's a steam runner in the fleet.
Yeah. Clivoid puts in $2. Voyager episode The Void. Yeah, another great one.
That was a good one. Again, that's the bottle show, but you can't even see the glass. It's fractured glass, and also the VFX in that one's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
How the hell do you do visual effects when you can't see Jack? Like, that's a real smart episode, actually. And in the end, I know that Rob and Mojo are really proud of that end when they come out. They see this nebula, because it's got to be the absolute best nebula you've ever done.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was great. I mean, that's a real, and Janeway. Yeah. Kurt Mulgrew, great performance in that one.
Yeah,
real good.
Z German puts in €2 and says, "Hey, Cockings and Foley at Trekyards YouTube when the copyright claim struck." I mean, Darmok and Jalad at Chinagra.
I wonder where the hell's he getting this from?
Shako when the walls fell.
That's a good episode. That's probably another Signature Forever style. Like, it could be anything, but the Trek nature really pulls it up.
That's one that goes back to mythology and old tales of not being able to communicate with somebody from another culture and having to work together.
It's also just smart as hell. Like, that you Discovery would never do one that smart. Like, that's just not in their wheelhouse of smart.
It's like if you ever saw the movie Enemy Mine with Dennis Quaid and Lou Gossett Jr., where the two fighter pilots from opposing sides that have to work together. It's that storyline, and it works. Because Enterprise had the exact same thing with Trip and an alien that crashed, had to work together. Basically, they took the script for Enemy Mine and just made it into a Star Trek episode. But
less good, but it's all right.
Yeah, and it even happened in the Battlestar Galactica, the original Battlestar Galactica, where Starbuck crashed with a Cylon, and they had to work together, and they end up becoming friends, even though they're enemies. It's just a tale that's been told through time that works in every context.
Old as time.
Right?
Okay. I thought of one that I was trying to think. What is the timeless episode? Mostly Signature Forever or Voyager.
Mm-hmm.
I think the one that I would say, I'm looking at pictures, that gets quite close is the one where Voyager is revealed to be the demon ship, and everyone dies in gloopy material.
Yeah.
Like, that's a really interesting episode. Like, that's a complete alternate, but it's not. But it's so tangible, and you feel desperation, the makeup, and this.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real interesting episode, and you don't see it coming. That's such a throwaway, throwaway.
Yeah. And speaking of Voyager, Warship Voyager, fantastic episode. Again, alternate future, kind of the mirror universe episode of Voyager.
Yeah.
We never really got one for TNG, sadly. No. But Voyager didn't want to do mirror universe, but that's the closest they got to it. And I love the over-exaggeration of how things are told through time and how it gets exaggerated, and it's just awesome.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. That's probably also Sitting on the Edge of Forever, like, style, but I mean, very similar actually. They're out of time, and that's a real good one.
And even the one where Voyager's the star and it's locked in the planet that's moving so fast through time, and the Doctor goes down and lives a whole lifetime as in this culture.
The problem, that needed more repercussions, though. That was limited by the lack of continuity. That should have radically altered him as a character.
That's the problem with Voyager in general. Life-shattering things happen to these people, and next week it's never talked about again. Like when Neelix died and there was no afterlife. That was a heart-wrenching episode. And at the end, it's very sad. And then the next week, everything's all right again. And that's the problem with Voyager, is there's no repercussions.
But the sci-fi is so good.
Yes.
It's like, it's a weird...
It's kind of like the Twilight Zone of Star Trek. Each episode is a standalone thing.
But with good characters for the most part. And again, those ones you mentioned, all good sci-fi. Like, they're good sci-fi things. Real good sci-fi concepts. And the visuals are always good. And that's...
Daniel Dunlop puts in $5. Thank you very much,
Thanks,
Daniel. For the sake of the monologue, the one where Sisko and Garak tricked the Romulans into the war. Yeah, in the Pale Moonlight. We've talked about that. Beautiful episode. Very well done. Great character development. and definitely the seedier side of how things have to get done. Despite the fact that Gene Roddenberry says it's utopian and everybody will be like happy, shiny people.
Well,
life happens, and 200 years, 300 years in the future is not enough time for the human race to evolve to not be doing things like that.
The thing about that, though, is that it is utopian, but guess what? The Cardassians are not in our utopia.
Yeah.
The Romulans are not in our utopia. So that's fine. We are the Utopia of the Federation, but no, he's dealing with these really... I mean, the Dominion are a bigger threat than anything we've ever faced. The Romulans are a... You know, that chessboard is so above the utopia, and it's... This is why I say insurrection. You know, Picard's choice to save the Baku is the most irresponsible, heinous thing that you can't possibly justify. 130 lives is not worth 10 trillion billion. I mean, there is no justification. He was wrong. End of story. Like, you know, these sorts of, you know, Cisco might have saved a quadrillion billion lives. So yeah, one Romulan dude died. I mean, do you really think the Romulan families, when Romulus gets bombed to oblivion, do you really think they're going to say, but that one Romulan senator survived? Oh, but all my siblings are dead. Do you really think they're going to give a shit? Like, at the end of the day, I mean, billions outweigh one. They've got to. If they don't, the world dies. The society dies. The universe dies. It's like, I mean, sorry.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one, or the few.
Yeah.
As they say.
It's tricky. Hey, it's my render.
It is.
That's my special mission.
Clivoid puts in $5. Of course, Year of Hell.
Yeah.
I figured you'd have more to say about Year of Hell.
Oh, well, you always go first. That's kind of, you say first.
Year of Hell is how the whole series of Voyager should be, where the ship has repercussions, damage. It's basically Battlestar Galactica. Unfortunately, they couldn't do that because they had the beauty flybys.
Too expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact is, the more damage you put on a ship, the more time it took to render. And so the way that they could do less, if they did that, it'd be less and less VFX each week. That's just a fact. And less builds. And you know, if it takes 7 hours to render, that means 7 hours you can't spend doing something else. So, you know, then you have 3 flybys a week. And that's it. 3 shots. I mean, yeah, it was a good choice not to do that. You know, if it was done now, that's why, you know, the idea of Voyager would be a great show now, with modern VFX, modern characters, modern technology, the serialized storytelling.
Yeah.
You know, give us Discovery back then, but made by the team to do more Prime. Because you could, if Voyager was post TNG and hadn't been done yet, you could update the aesthetic and then throw them into the other side of the galaxy and then change the aesthetic every week. Because yeah, it was getting darker and darker, and you know, as power runs out every week, you've got to, you know. But yeah, Year of Hell is not really a bad bone in Year of Hell. Like, it's a damn good 2-parter that pretty much just is top of its game. It's not like I don't enjoy those episodes that much. They're not fun to watch. Like, they're not even entertainment per se. It's a journey of depression and darkness, but it's so well done.
Yeah. Like,
I want to see Tuvok blind. That, honestly, I'm sort of not uncomfortable, but I feel really bad for him personally. Yeah. That makes me like, I don't like that. I don't want to watch him being blind. It's really hard to watch. But I love the chronoton shielding and the temporal ship, and the Freedom time ships. Oh, so cool.
What about the episode of Voyager where the ship was fractured into different time zones? That is
great.
Absolutely an awesome episode.
Great.
As is the time ship relativity, where Janeway and 7 of 9 have to go back into Voyager's past.
Yep.
Those I really love. Those are the kind of episodes that really stand out to me personally, and those are the ones I really enjoy watching because each time you watch it, you pick up something different, I think. And yeah. So anyway.
And yes, Captain Ron Phillips said, "Boy, next one did get rendered damage in season 3, huh, Samuel?" Well, yes, it was multiple years later, and they had the budget, and yeah, that was also fun. You saw Enterprise get more and more progressively damaged. And I think there's like 7 iterations of that model as it went along, and then some, like, obviously, you know, huge damage ones. But yeah, I mean, Relativity is one of my favorite ones because it opens up the universe so much. I love the context of Time Cops. I love the ship. It's gorgeous. Don't know why, I just really like that ship. I love the uniforms. I even love the interior set. I love Braxton, not the same actor, unfortunately, but the continuity of him from the past. And just, yeah, so I mean, it's one of those ones where it shows that, you know, they kept relying on 7 of 9, the Doctor, and Janeway. Janeway because she's a lead, although never like the best at everything. They did that line well, and she wasn't also the best because she was just a woman. Like, good because woman. She was just a good captain, a good character.
Yeah.
You know, that was better balanced in terms of gender ideologies. It was just more balanced. But that episode, I always think they really didn't give the other characters much to do. Like, because they kept getting great episodes, you know?
Yeah.
Although I've also had the Chakotay episode where he's fighting the war for the aliens that are Nausicaans but aren't same makeup. But that's actually a good Chakotay episode. Does give him good stuff. He's a good actor. I give him just didn't get much good stuff to do.
No.
But yeah, I love Relativity. I think it's a good. And just seeing, I mean, I know they're really proud of that intro. You know, seeing Voyager and Dry Dog. That's such like that's yay. We got Alpha Quadrant tech.
Yeah.
Brilliant. That's what we want to see. Obviously, I'm ignoring Message in a Bottle until later on because I've got that is my sort of one of my most favorite ones of all time. So I'll talk about that later.
Okay. AC Castillo puts in $2. Lower Decks, could it be the basis for the cartoon? Highly doubtful, but Lower Decks is fantastic episode. Love it.
Well, it's the pitch, isn't it? You say, oh, it's Lower Decks, but a comedy in TNG era. Yeah. That's how you pitch the show, isn't it?
Yeah. Z German puts in €2. The Hirogen Nazi Voyager episode. Yes, where the Hirogen take over the ship and they have to modify the holodecks and great episode. That was a two-parter, wasn't it?
It was. Yeah. I have a soft spot for that one. It's got a lot of really cool things, even if it doesn't quite come together. Like, it's one of those things where they had a direction they wanted to go, and for me it didn't quite work. But it had some really cool elements. Yeah. And the Hirogen just as an enemy I thought were actually great.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, the Predators of Star Trek.
All the cooler Klingons.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have really developed those guys even better.
Eric Morgan puts in $5 Canadian. Cold, hard Canadian cash. How about yesterday's Enterprise? Maybe the best time travel episode of the franchise. Yes. One of my favorites for sure, as I mentioned earlier. Love seeing the Enterprise C, and the Ambassador class quickly became one of my favorites. Well, not quickly. I hated it for a long time, and I built one.
The opposite of what happens, Joe.
Now I loved it. Yes. So yeah, and seeing another Captain of the Enterprise, Rachel Garrett and her crew. The only thing I hate about that episode, I just dislike, is the uniforms. I hate the way they stepped away from the turtlenecks and no belt. It just makes...
Not the TNG unique ones, the
that era, even with Wesley's dad, it makes the uniforms look sloppy to not have the turtleneck or the belt. It's just incomplete. Not a good progression to TNG, in my opinion. They were just trying to save money by using the old uniforms.
Yeah, you need the belt. The belt genuinely helps.
Yeah, they could have done a few different things subtle to it to make it a step towards TNG, but the way they did it just looks sloppy, like they ran out of their quarters, not fully ready for duty, you know?
I think they ran out of budget with everything else. I mean, they did a lot of cool stuff. I mean, just changing the bridge was unnecessary. They didn't have to.
Yeah.
And they did a lot of changes. No, that one I think is just like Into Mirror Darkly, is that they used the canon of Star Trek and found a cool story within that. Like, it's a story about the universe of Star Trek. You know, you've got to know who the Klingons are to understand why they're doing the big. It could be any alien race, but it's the Klingons, and you see the Trekyards or the Birds of Prey or the Cavorts. Yeah, the Enterprise C, obviously the uniforms, the nostalgia value. Yet it's something new at the same time. You know, you see the first comm badge. All these things are really awesome, and that's sort of a Mirror Universe episode almost as well. Like how dark some of them are in a small sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah. More literally how dark the rooms are than actually dark they are.
Yeah.
But yeah, it that's the canon of Trek, and they used it to its absolute best. And we love the universe. It expands the universe. Into Mirror Darkly, same thing. It expands and adds, and we'll talk about that if someone super chats for it. But yeah, it's yes, the Enterprise is great, and it's Guinan's a weird one for me personally. I never quite connected with the character because she's such an unknown of who knows what. Like, I mean, either she's just very old and knows lots, or then she can fight a Q. It's like, really? Are you really saying that? You know, she goes a bit silly, and they don't know what to do with her, really. And she also kind of takes over from Troy as well. So it's an odd character for me, but that one I think she really works because she's the linchpin of that. I'm above this universal change.
Yeah.
Oh, like imagine how pissed off she'd be if she was in Voyager, the Year of Hell. It's like, oh, for God's sake, everything's changed again. For God's sake, everything's changed again. Oh, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
Why does the universe keep changing?
Adam Cleaverly puts in £2 and says, "Have you talked about Timeless? Good Voyager episode." Have not talked about Timeless yet, but it is a good episode. We have
You're making us, so we will now.
Yeah, we have a very special episode of Trekyards coming up at some time talking about Timeless. That's the one, right?
Oh yeah. Sorry, I zoned
out.
Should
we give them a hint or?
Yes.
Well, okay. Here we talked to the visual effects supervisor Rob Bonchun about the scene where Voyager crashes into the planet at the beginning and gets frozen. So it's going to be a great episode talking about that scene in particular and how it came about.
So when you said hint, you meant tell them the entire thing?
No, because I didn't tell them any of the details. I just told them what to expect.
Okay. I was only more teasing than the description of what we did.
How would you have teased it?
Well, you can talk about the visual effects of Timeless with the guy that created them, and it's going to be awesome.
That's exactly the same thing I said, just in a British way.
Yeah, but you talked about the crash and the Rob Bonchun, which is the. I'm just saying, I just find here you just talk about it. It's fine. But yeah, Timeless is great. Timeless is really, because again, it's time travel, but also not. It's alternate reality, but also not. It's continuity with Geordi reference, can be the Enterprise Galaxy class, cool CGI, ambition yet not, bottle show yet not, just with the Delta Flyer set, and Slipstream. Like, that's all the good sci-fi stuff put together. Yeah, that's a great episode. And it continuities with The Dauntless, which is, again, an episode I love. So it's like, yeah, a lot of good stuff to love in that one.
I think the common thread we're seeing or kind of picking up on is seeing familiar characters that we know and love in different situations really are ones that stand out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's be more creative, because the ones, they're going to stand out more because they're different. You know, I love seeing Archer as Mirror Archer because he just gives off so much, I guess, non-personality. But like it's so different to his other character, and I love the buzz cut and just the way he does it so good.
Yeah.
That stands out to me. Yeah.
Daniel Dunlop puts in $5 again. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The Voyager finale, but only the first time you see it.
That's interesting. Why that? Hey, Daniel, why that clarification, sir? Why, Daniel? Why? Why do you say only the first time? Do you know what I mean by that? Please.
Again, it's the time travel aspect of it. I think of the old Janeway and what happened to the crew, and then her going back and defying the temporal prime directive, as well as just to. Again, it raises a moral question. I think a lot of the moral question episodes are also very up there as well.
It gets boring after that. So after the first time you watch it, it gets boring. I mean, there's middle bits of it that are a bit slow, but it's always leading up to the next cool visual effect bit, or the next cool story beat, or the next cool reveal. Even if you've seen it, there's lots of lots of golden moments. Well, I think, we talked about this with Anti-Tracker, who hates the Voyager Endgame, and we both love it.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, but it's so good. There's so many cool things to it. And seeing Rhode Island, and then, just seeing the Negvars, and...
Yeah.
They built a Negvar just for that. For those 2 shots at the end of the season. How awesome is that? They put effort in,
Yeah.
A lot of effort in that 2-parter. A lot of money.
Chris Jackson puts in $2 and says, "Did you discuss Inner Light from TNG?" Yes, we did.
Yes.
You might have to go back and watch that.
But re-summary, it's great, but it's more like a anything good episode of sci-fi than a definitively Trek episode. But Trek elevates it, but it's not reliant on Trek.
And brought it more into the exactly.
And ironically, it's what we don't look for in a Trek episode. It's not got ships, not got sci-fi classical science fiction-y tech, no ships, no sets, no aliens, it's actually not the sort of stuff that we are obviously going towards a bit as ooh.
But it has Patrick Stewart's actual son in it playing.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So, AC Costello puts in $2. Do
Hey, thanks
you
again.
two ever have disagreements about the channel?
No.
Yes.
I
Yes. No. No.
mean,
You're supposed to say no again, and then I say
oh,
yes.
well, we disagreed, I guess. The answer, yeah,
Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. And so do you.
maybe,
Yes.
yeah.
That's kind of what happens. We don't really
That's true.
know. We actually get along very well. We'll throw ideas out, and the other one will be like, eh, and suggest
Well, we're
something
both
else. Yeah.
well, we're both doing it for the same reasons.
Yeah.
That helps, and we both obviously want the best for it. And we're not doing it for our egos. We never have.
I don't know
Like
about
it's
you,
not
but that's why
about.
I do captain's logs for my
Okay,
ego.
sure.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's not an ego project. It's a genuine, informative thing. Want to get the ship stuff out there and just do it the best you've ever seen it.
Yeah.
You know, what was the ship we did earlier this week? Oh, K7. I think so.
Mm-mm. Giving away
There's a
stuff.
thing we recently. Well, there's a thing we did recently that was like we did a good job. Like it was really informative and we had a good presenting. I was like, this is a good, some good shit, man. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on before we get to. Sanderson asked, "Did we talk about Measure of Man?" Not really, but we'll get to that in just a second. We're going to do a super chat first. Clive Oid puts in $2. 2 Vicks. Again.
Yeah.
Good episode and morally questionable. So I think that's one of the reasons it stands out, because it was a hard decision to make. Whether it was right or wrong is still debated, and you can't. I don't think there is a right answer. So that's a tough one. But yeah, definitely a great episode, and it opens people's eyes to, again, Star Trek's, social commentary at its best. It brings these things to the foreground of what's right, what's wrong, and how do you deal with it. And there's no real answers, in my opinion. Some people agree with Janeway, some people don't, and that's fine. But very memorable episode because of that, because everyone can relate to the moral dilemma. And
It all killed people to bring people back to life.
yeah.
Yep.
Anyway,
But that one is a smartly written episode, and I like smartly written episodes. I always try and write smart. Although I just thought of another one that's sort of not that similar, but it also focuses around a new individual created with the Borg One, or the future 29th century Borg.
Mm-hmm.
He appears and he's got all this cool technology, and he helps him fight a sphere, and he's this awesome suit of armor, the equivalent. He looks awesome, and the doctors are really unhappy to finally be locked back in his sick bay, and there's great connection with 79 and the Borg. That's a cool episode.
It's like Similitude, though, the same kind of plot idea where it's it's going to, something bad has to happen at the end, which is coming, but you don't want to deal with it until it happens, and it's like, so those are very
more sci-fi.
Yeah, they're very similar ideas, though, and I think every series has similar parallels as far as storytelling goes for specific episodes.
I mean, there's a reason why. I mean, it was roughly the same team that worked on most of Trek, roughly, And so, yeah, they obviously repeated ideas in Enterprise and in Voyager that were in TNG and in TOS. But the fact is, I mean, you can tell the same story, but a different vibe, different characters, and different environment, and different feel, and different director. And I mean, as there's theories on that, there's only like 7 stories in the world, and all these variations of that. So I mean, you can't necessarily give them. I mean, First Contact and First Contact. I mean, there's there's so many things. Obviously, you said like with Nomad and Vidra. I mean, but you make them totally different, and they're totally different. At the core they're the same. But
it speaks to ship design as well. Because how many times have we said, how many times can you redesign a Federation class ship and have it look Federation, but not use the same aspects? You have to use the same characteristics. So when people say, "Oh, it's just this flipped upside down" or whatever, it's like, yeah, that's how you do that to make it retain that core look.
Well, when we talked to Rick Sternbach, he says the Voyager is just the Enterprise D rearranged, just really smartly rearranged.
Mm-hmm.
That was his whole mentality. That's how he designed it. Like, he doesn't take as much epic credit for it because it's just a rearranged galaxy, but like super smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what you got here.
Hey, it's my next one. Yay.
It is your next one.
I mean, it's not my speed relays, but, you know,
Yeah.
my
I still wish Equinox had ended with Janeway having to kill the other captain. Oh, yeah.
Equinox, damn good two-parter.
Yes. Again, moral implications abound. That's one of the reasons it stands out, I think. Parallels, we talked about parallels, Chris Jackson. I think you missed the beginning of the show where we kind of hit a lot of these beats. But that's okay. You can go back and watch it later if you want. What was I going to say? Oh, Measure of a Man. With Data. Is Data Starfleet property, or is he... Again, those courtroom ones are always well done, I find. And, again, moral implications crop up. So, Measure of a Man, absolutely. Drumhead, another one with kind of a court vibe to it. And definitely would stand out as some of the best. So, Trouble with Tribbles. Yeah, that's more of a fun episode. No Real Moral Dilemma. That's remembered for its comedy. And each of them, each series has one of those comedic episodes that just, you know, after some heavy episodes, they kind of lighten the mood for an episode or two. So we gotta appreciate those as well. But I don't think I don't see them as standing out as much as, like I said, the social commentary episodes. As far as being called Symbiosis. Which one's that?
With the Felicium, the drug?
Oh yeah, we talked about that one already. Yeah.
But that's the thing. I like my sci-fi and my sci-fi, and so just having social commentary is great, but I might not rewatch it again. Whereas a really cool sci-fi episode with a sci-fi twist, I mean, like I said, the split of the Voyager being split, it's smart, it's fun, it's referential, but it's clever, and it's you know, it's not got any moral message, but it's really cool idea. You know, with the first one with Dion Planet, where they land and they, you know, get clones made of them, or you know, like it's interesting sci-fi. It's not moral, but it's good sci-fi with the characters in the universe. So you kind of want both. I mean, what's the moral message of relativity? Don't revenge blow up people in the past.
Yes.
I mean, you know, get treatment for time aphasia. I mean, you know what I mean? It's not really a message thing. Whereas, yes, the two Victors are a solid message. But it's like, what would you rather have? The hardcore... And this is honestly a question for you and I guess the audience. Would you rather have the hardcore sci-fi or the messages if you had to pick one?
Good question. I mean, you can find the sci-fi in stuff like Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, some of the newer shows too. I don't know. That's a good question.
Yeah.
Sylvia brought up the episode Justice. I would say it's not one of my favorites.
Which one's Justice?
That's the one where Wesley falls into a flower pot and he's gonna be murdered because he's a twat. And no, we're not. And the people running around half naked. You know,
the girl's cute.
Yeah, there's that.
My demographic there.
Yeah.
And there's Pecs for All, and To All a Good Night. Yeah.
Right. And
whereas that's a crappy Wesley episode, but I like the one where he's on trial for the with a non-Tom Paris.
Yes. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's a good blend of sci-fi and moral, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the ones that stands out to me as one of my favorites is because I'm a huge Sherlock Holmes fan. Of course, there's Elementary Dear Data. I do like the holodeck aspect of it. It's one of the first, you know, living out a fictional story in the holodeck episodes as well. So I do like that one, and then it, of course, ties in with the one with Moriarty later. So one of my personal favorites, but that's just because I'm a huge Sherlock Holmes fan. So, you know, I don't know how it stands with everybody else, but
well, I liked the attention to detail and the effort put in. Like you sell like it sells you on it very quickly. They put the money in to make that work. So that I really dig, especially.
Our man Bashir. There you go.
I've only seen those ones once, but I don't remember being very impressed.
Really?
I don't know. Something about them, yeah. Whereas I love the casino heist one. That I think is tremendous.
Oh, yes.
Like that's a whole different story of smart holodeck. Because where just throw in holodeck stuff. There's some cool things you can do. That one I think is a real good fun one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if the holodeck episodes really stand out as the best episodes of Trek, though. They're more like their own niche, the best holodeck episodes. Because some of them are they fall a little flat. Other ones are really well done. And
but you did just mention the Moriarty one, which is a holodeck one. Mentioned the one with the K's on. There's clearly probably I think the holodeck one's probably because they're more creative a lot of the time. If you were to remove all the holodeck ones, you could probably find some of the like top 100 episodes, like a lot of them in the holodeck specials. Like the Voyager one where Tuvok, the fake program or the program where everyone's Marquis is taking on the ship. Brilliant, real clever. That's another like almost an alternate reality special. And seeing them all shoot each other on the bridge is great. And out of costume is great. That's a great episode. That's very smartly written. I don't think you see the Seska thing coming, even in rewatching it. It commits to its premise so hard, and then shifts. But it's so real that, like, it's a very good sudden reversal that I sort of forget happens. One episode I think had missed potential, but I quite a soft spot for it is the one in Voyager again, where they're all beamed away one at a time, and then on the space station in the habitat.
Yeah.
So I think the setup for that is really good.
Again, the mystery aspect of it is one of the. I just want to address something real quick before it goes flying by. Where was it now? God damn it! It just went flying by. Somebody said that Booby Trap is essentially a holodeck episode, and I disagree. That's where the holodeck is used as a tool, and sure, it plays a pretty substantial B-plot point, but I don't think it's really classified as a holodeck episode.
Well, how can it be? The threat is so real.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I love when the holodeck shuts down because they need the power for other things, and Geordi's like, no, I need this. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Reallocate power to the holodecks. So Geordi can talk to his computers because he can't talk to people, but whatever.
Hello, computer. Well, he learned that lesson from Scotty, didn't he? Talking to a computer.
It's ironic that his best friend's an android. Right?
Yes. What was I saying before you swapped topics? I was trying something. I thought that was a good one to. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, the one with everyone's being beamed away in Voyager.
Oh yes.
Because that's sort of the opposite to it's very similar actually to what was happening with the Beverly Crusher episode, but being taken away, and you genuinely get this great sense of dread because they play that you don't know what's happening for a long time, and then we've only got 100 people left, only 50. Now they outnumber us, and now we haven't got enough people to It's really smartly written. I think it and then the premise of this ship, this station that can beam across the galaxy, or several light years away, is powerful, but one at a time and with a charge delay. So I love the limitation in the tech.
Yeah.
But it falls apart a little bit with how, I don't like the art design of the aliens. They're very orange and boring and not villainous. If they were more villainous and interesting, if they like the Chronomark,
they're supposed to be friendly though when they first beam aboard. They don't know what's going on.
Very true. Very, very true. They're
supposed to be non-threatening.
But you could still have them be random aliens and more simul-militaristic and just not be but you know what I mean? They're very tan with the hats.
Yeah.
That's true, but I think that the second half sort of falls down a little bit, but I kind of like the build their own shitty phaser and going in the frozen bit. It's some cool, a really good idea for a story. A really good, simple idea. That's what's a bottle show, pretty much.
Yeah.
Or just 2 bottles.
Elizabeth Smith puts in £1.99 and says, "What about what about E squared?"
Yeah, that's the one with the 2 NX-01s. It's good.
Yes, yeah, we mentioned that earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's smart, and the casting was great.
Yeah. Yeah.
And actually, it gives you a sense of how old T'Pol can be.
Yeah,
If she's in Discovery.
She could easily show up in Discovery.
Yeah.
Zarkon D. Grissom puts in $5. Can the Discovery do a soccer separation? I think you mean saucer separation. If the fidget spinner spins fast enough. TOS Trouble with Tribbles Prelude to Axanar is also good. Trouble with Tribbles is all right. It's funny. I would class it as one of my favorite TOS episodes, but
well, it's one of the most enjoyable episodes. It doesn't show TOS at its best.
Yes, well, exactly. There, yeah.
But it should be, if you're showing them like 6 TOS episodes, it should be in that list because you like it. Like, it's just fun to watch. It's like Star Trek 4. Like, it's not the best Star Trek movie, but it's like a really just fun ride and also smart. Whereas like the JJ films are a fun ride but not smart, and I want smart sci-fi. And 4 is well written.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not well written.
And I don't think that the Discovery can saucer separate if it spins fast enough. It can slice through some space pizza really well, though.
Yes, there we go. Yep.
Yeah. Stephen Fathry puts in $2. Blood Oath, DS9, Kang, Koloth, and Dax versus the Albino. Yep, that is absolutely fantastic. And again, it's pulling in characters that we've seen before, and that's another aspect that makes the most popular ones people's favorites, I think, in my opinion.
It's also just smartly written, and it's a great, because the Klingons don't quite, they act like Klingons, but they have a bit more dimensionality to them. And I will be honest, the first time I watched that in the 90s, I didn't think they're the same people, because they look radically different to their original TOS counterparts. I mean, you wouldn't, if you looked at them side by side,
it's because they had cranial reconstruction surgery.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. So yeah, I didn't get that necessarily. Like, I get they were old Klingons, but that, my younger brain didn't connect them to be the guys that, because like I said to you ages ago, and to admit this, when I watched the TOS movies to the TNG the very first time, I was confused. I was like, well, the TOS movies look so good, but they were filmed decades ago because they were the original crew. That was filmed decades ago. Well, why? How could they make TNG and TOS films at the same time? One's in the future. So same thing. I didn't. How could they bring actors back from the 60s?
Yeah.
Again, it's like 7-year-old. I don't know, young me.
Yeah. Well, I thought stupid things as a kid too.
Man. Yeah. You still do, but you're still a kid. So
hey, I am at heart. Richard Kennedy puts in £5. Thank you very much. Similitude from Enterprise, yes. Yep. Stratagem from Enterprise. Stratagem.
Remind me.
Yeah.
That's the one with the shuttle. That's my one. Yeah, that's the shuttle one. Yeah.
Yes.
Top 5 Enterprise.
Yeah, we mentioned it. Okay. Measure of a Man
really
talked about from TNG.
Yep.
They are all highlights, and the Drumhead from TNG. Yes, Drumhead's fantastic. Another one we talked about. So you hit a lot of the ones that we hit early on there. So.
Well, the Measure of a Man, I've never actually seen the full extended cut, because it's one I if you know the result, I've never suddenly had the impulse of, I should watch Drumhead. Measure of a Man. I never.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that you might not necessarily set out to rewatch, but if you catch it when it's on TV, you'll sit down and watch it. You know what I mean? You won't just do your thing and have it on in the background.
Yeah.
Spock's brain. Oh, Daryl. Brain? What is brain?
Yeah, I don't think I like Spock's brain.
I don't think anyone does.
Yeah.
So, on course, Commander. Yeah. Enterprise Shuttle Pod 1. It's a great character piece for sure for those guys.
But it doesn't have as much sci-fi as it could have. That's why the one with the Turn of the Shuttle, that's heavy sci-fi as well.
Chris Jackson asks, can we include fan film episodes? You can include whatever you want in the chat. I mean,
super chat and we'll talk about it,
Yeah. Richard Kennedy puts in £2. It's always good to hear a Picard speech.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely. We're looking forward to more eventually with the Picard series. So
it's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
Once more onto the breach, DS9.
Don't remember that one.
No. And Chris Ashton puts in £2 and says DS9 to the death. Another one I don't remember.
This time I don't remember the titles. Oh yeah, I like Once More to the Breach with Kang has come back and he's
Yes.
suicide. He's gone mentally unstable and he's. I love the CGI in that one. That's really good for the time. Like,
Which is the
real
one where
good.
they go after the Sword of Kalos.
I think it's called Sword of Kalos. No, I don't know. I enjoy that one too. I mean, bring him back. What a legendary dude
Yeah.
to bring back.
Yeah.
And Martok's so great in that one too. I loved DS9. I think it's one of its best stuff was seeing the Klingons in their own ships, in their own scenes, when we're not watching them as a Federation outsiders. It's just them doing them. Like that's how you develop Klingons. You don't discover it.
Yeah.
They did it better, earlier, awesome. And that Bird of Prey bridge set is still a stupidly good set.
Yeah.
I really like that set.
So Chris Dashin put in £2 and said DS9 to the death, and that's the one where the Cisco and Defiant crew form a precarious alliance with the Jem'Hadar warriors in order to stop Jem'Hadar renegades from restoring an ancient gateway. Another great episode, yes. Especially with
Iconian Gateway.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, with the disciplinary actions that were taken in regards to Worf, as well as the Jem'Hadar, and seeing the back and forth with the clashing factions is really, really well done.
Yeah, actually. I just remembered another one from DS9, the little ship one, when they're flying inside the...
Yes.
That's great! That's a really good episode.
Yes, the little ship. I love that one.
It's fun! It's just fun. And that's another way of, like, it's just good sci-fi. It's a good sci-fi concept.
Mm-hmm.
Realised really well. That one I really enjoy, actually.
Yeah. Wing Saber puts in 558.
Thank you.
For a season to be good, even in a dark show, there has to be some light episodes for people to breathe and have fun with the characters. Yes, I totally agree, and that's why I want to say the Mud episode from Discovery, but at the same time, that kind of turned him into a homicidal maniac. So people kind of disagree on that, but that was more of a step out of the main storyline box to kind of have a own standalone piece, and that's why I kind of enjoy that episode.
Yes.
So it went in.
Okay, Enterprise episode, guys. See if I can see anything I suppose points out about I really enjoyed.
Let me think.
I mean, you can tell we're talking about mostly TNG, mostly TOS.
Yeah.
I'll start. I mean, I do quite enjoy the Augment. I guess 6-parter. I think the cast they picked to do them is great. Soong's great. The VFX are great. Obviously, introduced the Enterprise Bird of Prey. I really enjoy, or at least it uses it fully. You get to flesh out that. It's a D5. I think it's just a really cool, classy. I don't like the stuff on the station as much.
Yeah.
Because the Augment stuff's strong, the Soong stuff's strong, the crew stuff's strong, but they slowed down a lot when they get the bioviruses. Like, you could have just nicked it off camera. I didn't need to see that. Although it's fun to see Phlox's friend. That was great. But yeah. I just saw a screenshot. The Ferengi episode in Enterprise. Thoughts?
Acquisition, I think it's called.
Yes.
Yes, and no. Because it's yeah, that's a continuity canon thing, unfortunately.
But it isn't though. They would. It's that fine line of they wrote it so it wasn't.
It's like Archer didn't write a captain's log about that incident because I don't know. What was the one? Somebody said Assignment Earth. Yeah, I would say that's an awesome episode of TOS.
Although very much not an episode of TOS.
Yeah, a pilot for another show.
I don't think that show would have worked, though. That was a very 60s show. There's a spy on Earth who was a guy from the future, and he's got a cat that's a woman and a receptionist, and dad's there solving crimes across the Earth. It's like, sure.
That's a great pitch.
Okay.
Little Green Men from TNG, or not DS9. That's one of my favorite episodes. Not only time travel, but like, just the fact that the only people that were there were the Ferengi and Odo, but so no humans with them for this trip. So yeah, I love the way that one came about and did the Roswell thing. It was awesome.
It shows that team of actors had such good chemistry, and together were very, very good. So that was that's a fun. That's DS9 saying, screw it. Just screw it. We'll do fun shit. Just screw it. That's why I do kind of like the Ferengi one Enterprise. I think they said, screw it, we'll try something fun. I think it does work pretty well.
Yeah.
And it's a good Archer episode as well, and decent to poll. And the fact they got all the best sort of Ferengi actors, all the best like makeup character actors.
Yeah.
Like, that cast is brilliant. Like, that's a great cast piece. Just like with the other Ferengi episode where they go to the other Terok Nor, Empak Nor, I think it was.
Yes.
Next they kill the guy. That's another great little Ferengi piece. I mean, they lucked out with that cast because they didn't know where Nog was going, where Rom. I mean, Rom changes radically, and in fact, Rom and Nog swap roles pretty much. Yeah. And it's great to see those guys. They grew into themselves and got real good.
Yeah. Chris Jackson puts in $2. Thank you very much, Chris. Star Trek.
You guys are awesome.
Star Trek. Great, right? Oh, Star Trek Continues. Great writing, and Worf saves Dax. I think that's two separate things, but okay. Yeah, the one where Worf forfeits his mission to save Dax, and then has a permanent blemish on his record, I think, is a good one. A lot of people talk about the Captain Worf series. Well, in that episode specifically, Sisko says to him, "You realize you might never be captain because of this." Anyway, thought I'd point that out.
I still want the Captain Worf show. It's one of the few timeless shows you can just make because the makeup will always stay. He'll always stay Klingon, and he'll always do it for the paycheck because he likes the character. No, like in a sense, he'll do it because he likes the character and he wants the paycheck. But a lot of time he wouldn't do it for the paycheck, even with the paycheck. What do you think of the Judgment episode where you see J.G. Hurster as the lawyer and Repente early?
I loved it until I saw the courtroom scenes, and I loved it until I saw Repente because it's Star Trek 6. The fact that Archer was on Repente before Kirk and breaks out with no issue at all. Just, hey, we're here to get you. All right, cool. Let's go. Yeah, I guess. Sylvie just said that's why they upped security before Kirk got there.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, yeah. I like that one a lot because it's just a really interesting take on everything. It is meant to put your expectations and shift them by giving you a classic Klingon, a truly classic, and then
the best
truly,
the best thing about that episode was when he says, "You don't believe that all Klingons are warriors, do you, Captain?" It's like, yeah, we've got farmers, we've got doctors, we've got other stuff going on. A race of only warriors wouldn't be able to make it to space, I don't think.
Discovery, please watch the episode. Please. Stop making them racist bigots that are suicide bombers and awful. Please. Please, 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 please. Just watch any other Trek.
Yes.
Please.
We'll just contact us. We'll give you a list of episodes you need to watch. Joseph Petrick puts in €2.
1 second, just finish on that one. And Repente, again, I agree completely. But for me, the weakest bit of 6 is Repente. Just cut out all of Repente. Just something better with that 25 minutes in the budget. I think Repente just stripped out that movie. It's a great political thriller. I skip Repente every single time I put the movie on. I do not give two shits. It's boring. Don't care.
Good to
do
know.
Better things.
Good to know. Yeah, it could have been done with dialogue and not necessarily scene. I agree.
Just the lead up, seeing Kirk and the crew at proper go, and then Klingons at proper go, and then the political stuff. That's just all just expertly done.
Yeah. Joseph Petrick puts in €2.
Hey, Joe.
Empak Nor and the one with Ferengi saving their mom. Yes.
That's pretty good too.
With Iggy Pop playing a Voyager. Yeah. Very well done. And hilarious to boot. But the Empak Nor one is the one with the 3 Cardassians on the station that were in cryo sleep, and that is an awesome episode because it's kind of terrifying in a way. Nog
with a phaser rifle.
Yeah.
Anytime I see that phaser rifle used, I like the episode. Honestly, I've got one in my closet. I love that phaser rifle. Same with Janeway. They randomly get them when she's fighting the protoviruses, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a great episode, genuinely a good episode with a good concept, good flashbacks, good creepy. I like that one a lot. The CGI like creatures great. Like that's pretty complex for its time. I really like that one actually.
Yeah. Oh man, there's been some good discussions here on this episode. When I came to Samuel this morning, I'm saying, what should we do for today's live? We should lighten it up and not be Discovery. Do something kind of positive. And
yes,
why not do favorite episodes? And it's like, yeah, this has been a really great talk. I've really enjoyed this with you guys out there.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a piss poor mood when I started this. I didn't want to do the live. And
yeah,
I've been cheered up, but I'm starting to lose steam now again. So
yeah, I've got so many things to do, but you guys super chatting, making this worthwhile is really a good sign because we want to keep doing these sorts of things, but you guys have to support it, and you guys for the most part do show that you do, and this is a great way of putting $2 in, having a conversation. You've clearly driven what we've talked about, and we get to know that we get to keep lights on by doing really fun stuff for and with you guys. Yeah. It's great. We love it.
Siege of AR-558, says Austin. A little too hard hitting, a little bit too deep for me.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just would rather it's not on my favorites list at all. I can see why people like it, but
yeah, it's one of those things that I go to DS9 for character, not for sci-fi. I go for Voyager for sci-fi, not for character.
Yeah.
And you can watch Voyager again and again and again, just enjoy it. Like AR-16, you don't ever want to watch it, but you watch it, it's like, that was good. You know?
Oh,
I
agree. I just would never deliberately watch that one.
Yeah.
You know, if it's on,
yeah,
if I'm doing a rewatch of the series, yes, of course, but
I think it's one of those things, if you were trying to, it's major spoilers, but if you were showing like a film person who'd never seen Star Trek somehow, actually, yeah, good question. So one episode from each show, or just 5 episodes to show a filmmaker, they're out of the world, like on a technical, impressive level. Which 5 stories would you show them?
I have no idea. You can't ask me that question.
I kind of just did.
Well, In the Pale Moonlight.
Okay. For characters and
City
script.
on the Edge of Forever.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know. It's too much thought needs to be put into that question. I'm going to address the super chat in the meantime while you're thinking. Richard Kennedy puts in £1.99. Enterprise, the one with the NX Alpha and Robinson. Yeah, the flashback ones are pretty good.
It was still in vanilla writing, Enterprise though.
A little bit, yeah.
Wasn't quite. It didn't know what it wanted to be, and it couldn't be TNG again. I think you'd either Best of Both Worlds or All Good Things are damn good technical episodes as well. If you just want to show someone you'll enjoy.
You said
this.
Episode. You didn't say episodes. I can't do 2 parts.
I said story. I said story.
Oh, okay. Well, then everything, the whole series, it's all one story. Am I right? I'm right.
No! You're not right.
I am, though. I'm the captain. I'm always right.
No,
Except for when I'm not, and then nobody says anything because they'll be punished. Punished.
Agonize a booth. Like Cause and Effect, actually, I think as a technical episode is worth watching because it's a really good. It's really well thought out. I love the different angles and that's a smart episode.
Yep, that's one of my favorites as well, and we didn't mention it.
Another point where every time you see the Athacon uniforms, you smile. They pop in, are part of the universe. You're like, oh, yeah, they look good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. When they're done properly, when they're uniformed up. When they, like I said earlier, without the turtleneck and the belt, it's just like, why? No, don't do that. Change the belt if you're going to do that, or put on, I don't know. Okay,
now this might not be the same thing, but I just thought to myself, well, what episode is good to you, but it's not good in general? But then I was going to think that you would say, damn it, I've got to think on the spot. But an episode came to my head straight away. I don't know if it's because I think that way, or just because I like it. I don't know if you like it.
You have a different mindset. You have a filmmaker's mindset. I don't.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But
so an episode that I like that I know is not a good episode. And it's kind of a guilty pleasure.
Yeah. One instantly goes to my head is the one with Kess, where she goes into multiple futures, pasts, and we see the Krenim. and we see her married to Paris, and we see like I really like that episode. I think it's quite smartly done and gives the actress a lot to do actually.
Oh, that's one that would definitely require some thought, dude. I don't know.
But do you like that one, or is that like a one that you don't think is that good? I like more because I like it more.
I hate Kes. So
see, there you go.
Again, with Kira and Kes, any of ones that focus on those characters, I'm like, I'm kind of like half there. Whether the story is good or not, it's like, keep it away. Oh, we got 2 more super chats we need to address.
Oh,
3 more.
You guys are brilliant.
We love you. The Grim Panda puts in $2. Hey, maybe we'll see an Ambassador Worf series. I mean,
do it.
We could do a spin-off miniseries from the Picard series. I don't know.
I mean, come on. I mean, it's such an easy sell. Yeah. It really is.
Elizabeth Smith puts in £1.99. Sorry. Voyager the Thaw gave me nightmares, but good.
Now I think I know which one that is. Oh, the clown.
Oh, the clown. No. That's just dumb. I hate that episode.
I love that one.
I hate that episode. That's right up there with the DS9 game Trillimalane or whatever the hell it is.
That's not
Alamarain.
Count to 3. Alamarain. Let's watch the clown.
Yeah. No,
well, Elizabeth, I'm totally on your side.
I hate that episode.
I think it's absolutely brilliant. I think it's so well done. The tone is great. The acting's great. The low budget is great. In the sense that they built one simple set, but I love they got literally it's an entire dance troupe to be there's all those wonderful movements. It's great. I love it. Yeah, I think that's a real smart one actually. So see, we don't always agree. Our disagreements, yes, that one. But that come on, it's better than Alan Moraine though. Come on.
Oh, it is, but not by much. Richard Kennedy.
Well, no, seriously, no. If you're putting Alan Moraine at like a 5 out of 100, where would you put that one? Like, how much better is it?
8. Richard Kennedy puts in £1.99.
Thank you, Richard.
One I hate is Power Play. TNG, don't know why. Power Play, which one's that?
Google.
Yes, the art of Google.
Oh, I don't mind that one. Troy, Bashir, and Data taken over. I don't mind that one. I have a soft spot for that one actually.
No, that's pretty good actually. Yeah, I do agree with that.
It's great to see them be different. I love the way that you think they're the actual officers, but no, they're not. They're aliens. Like I love that it's a slight mystery.
And I love how it's like, are they the ghosts? Yeah, like is it ghosts or what? And...
I love Marina Sirtis' story. Did you know her story of that episode?
No.
Should I tell you or not?
I guess
it's a good story.
I just can't stand her either, personally as a person, but.
Well, there's a moment right at the start when they all get jumped by the alien creatures, right?
Yeah.
On the planet.
Right.
And they're forced into them and they go flying back.
Yes.
And the other two, and it stunt people and Marina Sirtis because she said, no, I'm fine, I'll do it. And because they say, oh, we're going to get quite close, the stunt people are fine. She's like, oh, I'll do it. And then they do the scene and she flings herself back. She gets a concussion because she's not a stunt woman. Yeah. And then the shot's so far back you can't tell it's her.
Yep.
And then she was like you should have just made me not do it. I regret demanding to do that stunt. But it's like, it's really her, guys. Zoom in. It's really her. Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's kind of a funny story because she hurt herself. So, Adam Cleaverly puts in £2. TNG Sarek for me. Good as Spock and Scotty returns.
It's not as good because it hasn't got the Enterprise in it. Hasn't got the same legacy, but Sarek is a strong. I mean, Mark Leonard, real class act. But I don't like seeing the Legend be so ill. Like it's on that fine line of diminishing the character. He plays it so strongly, but like to see him like if we saw Picard like that,
well,
I mean, I'd feel really uncomfortable.
Brought up something. The one, I forget. It's a two-parter where Jellicoe takes over. I both enjoy and hate that one at the same time. The torture scenes really bug me. I don't know what is with torture scenes in general. I just can't really deal with them. So seeing Picard kind of broken like that really gets to me, and I kind of would rather skip over those parts of that episode. I know it's making a point, but the Jellicoe scenes are great. Just something about that one just doesn't sit well with me. But it's a fantastic episode.
Trainer Command.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think I like the torture stuff because it's obviously so well written, and I love the fact that the actor in it's just brilliant. I mean, the guy who played Gorkon, he's a really good actor, and I love the behind the scenes story that he was hired that weekend because the other actor couldn't deal with the makeup, so he had to read over half his lines on cards in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't have time. He couldn't. It's not that he couldn't, but he didn't have time to learn them. And so literally, he's doing it all from cue cards. You can't tell. That shows how good he is to do it properly.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Jellicoe stuff's weird. It works, but it's like, why is it even there? Like, you don't really need that subplot.
The reason that's there is because Picard might not come back, and we're gonna have to put up with this asshole from now on. That's where that comes in. And the Jellicoe, as much as I like the actor and I kind of like the character, at the same time I really don't like the character. I know he's written to be like that. He's supposed to be not like, you're not supposed to like him, but I don't know. It's just a weird episode.
He's on the line.
It's a weird 2 episodes for me. I enjoy them, yet I don't. So
it's sort of episodes that you can just gently skip some scenes.
Yes. Yeah.
And there's a few of those. There's a few of those.
Absolutely. Richard Kennedy puts in £1.99 and says, "It's evil Troy. It just freaks me out. I actually like her as being evil. It's better than her regular character." I don't know.
Oh, the Squire of Gothos.
Squire of Gothos, yes.
It's a good one.
Yep.
That's a good one. So guys, I guess we're probably going to close out now in a minute. It's been the full 2 hours. So basically, if you want to force us to do a quick fire round to talk about any episodes, we'll take like 5 minutes of super chats. If you want to if we haven't talked about your favorite episode and want/need us to super chat it right now, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess while you wait,
to be honest,
I
was going to say, to be honest, it didn't feel like 2 hours. I mean, I could probably talk for another hour, but we shouldn't.
No, I've got things to do.
Yeah, exactly.
But as we wait for the last few that you want to talk about, guys, I'll mention Message in a Bottle, because one of my favorite episodes of all Trek, because it's the classic thing of sci-fi, new sci-fi ship design. It's Prometheus.
Oh yeah, okay.
New ship design, Romulan to Deredex. You see Defiant, you see Akira, good space battle. You get the Romulans, you get development of Romulan, you get new technology, you get good acting, you get the Doctor being great, you get Andy Dick being really great. You get some Dick, you get great scripts, you get funny. It's genuinely funny, it's genuinely clever. Like there's the only thing that diminishes it is the stuff back on Voyager, and that's a weird thing to say. It's one of those great ones. It's almost an alternate reality episode. It almost leads into the Prometheus spin-off. The warship in the front of Voyager space. Although the set design's a bit weak. Although I want to know where the sickbay set was a kit bash or a redress from, because I like that sickbay is quite specific, even though it must be a redress of something. But that one, I mean, I love that one. And Prometheus is they push the boundaries on CGI. It's funny. It's just a good.
Yeah.
It's a good all-around episode, I think. I love, they don't know about the Dominion and they're not ours. It doesn't quite fit the timeline fully, but that's one of my top. Just I think both guilty pleasure and I think it's just quality content.
I would totally agree with you. And you really like it because it's got the Prometheus.
I do. Well, that's the thing. It's got so many strong, unique elements in it.
Yeah.
It's one of those sort of fun ones.
Well, plus it takes you out of the Voyager. Yeah. The Voyager scene, Delta Quadrant Voyager all the time. It's like back to the Alpha Quadrant, new stuff.
Federation Tech, yay. Yeah. Which is why I really like the Reg Barkley episode where he's trying to get them home, Pathfinder. It's still a bottle show, but it's Reg Barkley and Dan Troy's there. I mean, he can absolutely carry a show. That Reg was great in Voyager. He was really, really good in Voyager. I think he was probably better than TNG in Voyager, because he was given, they were actually about his character specifically. Yeah, real good.
Yeah. Pondimus Maximus puts in $9.99. Thank you very much. Hail Captain and Commander, Mirror, and the Offspring. The Offspring.
Which one's the Offspring again?
It's just as long as it's not the Child or whatever. Or
the Offspring's a band. Apparently, that's the first thing that comes up. Available on iTunes. It's a rock band.
That's why you do the Offspring Star Trek.
Also known as Manic Subsidial, 1984 to 1986.
That's the one where Data makes makes his daughter.
Also good.
Yes.
Also good. Yeah, that one's good. It's again nicely written. I think Riker directed that one. Jonathan Frakes was one of his first outings, and it's solid. It's real solid.
Mm-hmm.
And it's again one of those ones where we can use the continuity of Trek. You know, it's yeah.
Yeah. Jason Link, thank you very much, Jason. Throws in $5. QLS, DS9, Amok Time, Doomsday Machine, Court Martial, Balance of Terror. Yeah, we mentioned
I feel like he
most
cheated
of those.
to make us talk about lots.
Well, yeah. Court Martial I really enjoy. Balance of Terror I really enjoy. Doomsday Machine I really enjoy. QLS, which Q one is that one?
It's where he punches Q, but I don't. Oh, it's Voss.
Yeah.
It's dumb. I like okay, but I mean I know. Okay, this is one of those memes. Cisco punching Q is stupid to me.
A little bit.
It's just stupid. Like I don't buy that for 1 second. I mean, if it was season 7 Cisco, but you know what I mean? It didn't. That was a totally undeserved sort of cool moment. That's like, hey, look, our hero's awesome. We can punch you in the face.
Yeah.
No, I don't. It's not.
Richard Kennedy puts in £1.99. Move along home, DS9. What a treat that really is. You are banned from ever commenting on our channel ever again. Goodbye, sir. David Scrappa puts in $1.99. DS9 stuff like Take Me Out to the Holosuite. Oh, yes. During the war. Take Me Out to the Holosuite's an awesome one. I'm not a baseball fan.
That's pretty good, yeah.
I'm not a baseball fan, but I got to admit that one's fantastic.
But it's Trek baseball. It's smart.
Yeah.
And the Vulcans, and the fact that you rarely see Vulcans in later Trek. It's kind of strange
how Worf in that episode. We shall destroy them. Or yeah.
Oh, okay, on a for God's sake, another one.
Pondimus Maximus puts in $4.99. DS9, move along home. I'll show myself out. No, it's fine. You can have bad taste and still come back. You can.
Okay.
You know, you can have that as a favorite episode and be wrong. That's fine.
That episode is the code of honor of TNG. Like they're ones you just ignore, completely retcon. Spock's brain of
TOS, yeah.
Of TOS. Those three you just completely exercise from the universe. What's the Voyager one that you exercise from the universe? Gosh, I think
Please turn that off.
I think the Voyager one would be that you'd exercise. The Voyager's lots of bland, but not any ones that are like embarrassingly bland.
Probably. Sovereign 506 puts in €2. The Way of the Warrior, Deep Space Nine. Yes.
Good.
Definitely, we talked about that, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Seeing Garen and Martok interact, those guys had real chemistry.
Yeah.
Real chemistry.
Yeah.
And there we go. Wow, we asked for super chats and we got like another $15 at the end of that. I believe it makes a huge difference to the the channel. So thank you guys so much. This has been a hell of a 2 hours talking about positive Trek because we like the good and the bad. It's nice to be fully positive.
Yes.
Talking about good Trek.
Yes. Everybody is saying threshold to close us out. So we're going to hit that warp 10 button and turn into lizards as we disappear from your screen. Bye, guys. It's been fun. We got to do another chat like this soon because this was a fun episode, I got to say.
And
a fun live.
Of course, do watch our episode today on Stuart's idea. Kelvin Timeline links to Discovery Season 2. That was Stuart's idea. And then watch yesterday's episode on how they treat Spock in Season 1 of Discovery so far. Watch both of our current videos. We've got one coming out tomorrow about the Enterprise as well. And then Stuart's live in the evening about the new Discovery episode. And then our full treatment on Friday. Gonna be a long day.
Plus, my Captain's Log on Friday and the Eagle Moss review. There's a lot of videos coming out, guys.
Ooh,
so stay tuned.
We treat you right, and you do treat us right too.
That's right.
So thank you so much.
So until next time, bye.
Bye, guys.
Engage warp 10.